Hello everyone, welcome to Red Dragon Model Works. My name is Gilbert. I also go by the name of Red Dragon. This is going to be another update on my Tydirium Shuttle. But I got something else to show you guys, so if you hang tight, I'll get all this together, be with you in a little bit. Alright, before I get into my shuttle build, I'm working on this guy. I made a real big boo-boo, guys. I mean, it was an amateur boo-boo, and I should have known. You see this right here? It's actually, it's cockeyed. I could straighten it out right there. I actually had that piece right here, over here. I don't know how I did it. Going over it, I'm thinking, wow, that's a really stupid mistake. Easily fixed. Where I'm at now is, before I paint this, or after I paint this, I want to add the cables here. I was thinking about using some easy line. I also picked up some fishing line. It's a little thicker. I don't know. I'll have to do a little research on this, and maybe you boat guys can help me out. Those lines, I believe, were insulated. A little heavier. I don't know what I'm going to do for turnbuckles. There's a turnbuckle that goes here, and then there's a few right here, because it'll split off in two right here. So there should be a couple of turnbuckles here, a couple here, here, and I believe there's a few back here. So I don't know what to use there. Either the easy line or the fishing line. You guys can give me a little help. Leave it in the comments below. On to the shuttle.
As you can see here, I'm watching my buddy here, Cohen, work on his, what is that, his big Barkus Tiger build? Man, that thing is huge. That is a huge build, brother. That thing is monstrous. That's amazing. Well, let me flip this camera around and I'll show you guys what I'm doing.
Alright, gentlemen. What I'm doing right now is, here, let me move this out of the way. There are, and forgive me, I'm using a cell phone. That's another thing. If anyone knows, what, can give me an advice on what kind of a HD camera to buy. I don't have a lot of money, so let me know what you guys use. Anyway, there's a little seam line that runs all the way up this thing. And what I'm doing right now is I'm just lightly scraping out. I'm not, see, you can see it right there. And it's, when I dry fitted it and you put it all together, I mean, you can notice it. It's right there. So once you slap some primer on this, that's going to be like, hello, an eyesore. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just smoothing that out. I was gonna work on the other wing today, but I'm not in the mood to cut 10,000 little greeblies out. So let's get the body together. So that's what I'm doing now, is just cleaning it up so it'll all sit flush and there's no seam there. Because these two pieces, they go like this here. Now the other problem I'm having is this is warped. You can see it. It warped with age. So I got to try to figure out a way to get this to come down. You see, that's how much it's got to come down. I'm hoping that with glue, the glue itself, once I get this together and then get the other parts on there. But see, if you notice it, there's that warpness right there. Now once I put this piece in, it should bring it all together. I was going to hit it with a heat gun, but I don't want to monkey with it. So let me finish cleaning this up. You can see it, there's lines like right in here. You see that? You shave that right down. You can hit it with sandpaper, but I'm not going to be here all day. So if you do this lightly, it comes right off. And you can get it nice and smooth, and then go over with about a 400 to a 600 grit sandpaper, and it'd be nice. You hear my dogs? They're going crazy again. You know, I'm a little embarrassed, guys. I took a picture of the wings, posted it on International Scale Modeler and Scale Model Addict. I have a puppy, and I'm potty training the puppy. Got a picture of the potty pad in there. Kind of looks gross. Be back. Alright, guys. I find myself in the same position I find myself in when I was doing these little pieces here. The little door pads. Right up in here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Ah, there it is. You see that? That's just ugly. So that's going to take some sanding to smooth down, because once you put this in there, you see that you can see it right up in there. So I'm going to have to sand that down, and that's what I'm doing right now. So I got some 320, and I'm just attempting to smooth that down to get that really ugly burr out of there. And I just noticed something else that I didn't notice earlier. Yeah, there is an ugly right there. See that? Right there and right there. Yep, I got to sand those down. Fill them in and sand them down, because that's, yeah, that's in there pretty deep. So, yeah, that's not going to come out. Well, maybe. Here, let me work at it. Be right back. Here's what I was able to do. That sinkhole, or that pinhole, that was right there. I got that out of there. I was able to level that. And I was able to get the other one out from here. I went in, a little scraping, took this, and just worked at it. Now, yes, I could have used putty. I didn't want to use putty. I wanted to be able to go in there and work it without having to slap putty on it, wait, all that other good stuff. So, that's nice and smooth. I'm not worried about this one. Well, because you're not going to see it. I was only concerned about the two that you were able to see. That one and that one have to come out too. Let me work on these and I'll be right back. Alright, guys. What I had to do, because that was warped, as you can see, I got it taped to try to bring it in. I had to bust out the big guns. This stuff is incredibly powerful. Use it very carefully, because man, if you slap this on and you want to get that thing off of there, ain't never gonna happen. But the Tamiya, the testers, you know, that I have, just wasn't cutting it. You know, I got the in here, and I got it here. I got like 3 or 4 different versions of this, you know, hot glue. But it took the big gun to do that. Now I'm gonna have to. See, it's still moving on me. I'll be back in a minute. Alright, guys. I was able to, if you can see that, I was able to get it to come in a little bit. And I think with the addition, with the addition of this piece in here, should bring it the rest of the way. So now what the other thing I'm trying to figure out is, I got the little hole cut in there for the stand, but the stand they give you is like this here. Now, if I would have lit it, you know, put the fiber optics, I would have had a piece of tubing, of brass rod in there. I'm not lighting this one up. I want the landing gear down, so this is only going to be when I'm displaying it for like flight mode. So what I think I'm going to do on the bottom here is put this inside some like plaster, you know, sink it into a plaster, you know, on a little diorama type of thing, and just use this part when I want to display it into a flight mode, because for the most part it's going to be shown with the landing gear down. That's the other thing. I got to order some little magnets to put in here, and for the landing gear itself, I think I'm going to embed some magnets in there so I can use them to take them off, close the doors, whatever. So what I'm doing now is, got to put my drugstore specials on. I'm just smoothing out here the seam. I'm gonna have to go over it with some maybe some surfacer. I was able to get most of it out there, but once that's primed, you're gonna see that. So I think surfacer might do it, but we'll see. So I put it down for a couple of days, actually almost a week, because man, I don't know if you guys know what shingles are. I caught that, and Jesus, I got a spine injury as it is now, and the pain on that is unbearable. But with the shingles, oh my God, had me, well, not bedbound, but I was walking like I had a pole shoved up, you know. And it's still pretty bad, but it's starting to get a little better. So I want to get some work done. I started to work on my my group build, my figure, but that's another thing. The way this thing's built or made, and because of all the parts, I'm going to have to paint them as I put them together, or else it's going to be another mess. So I put that down. I'm glad I got 6 months for that. So what I'm doing now, let me lower this a little bit, is I am just sanding this down. This is a 320. It might be a little too harsh, but I'm trying to get that little step down without having to slap a whole lot of putty on there. You know, I've been pretty lucky that this stuff here is great. Because the regular Tamiya and testers was not holding it, man. It just kept springing in, even with tape and everything. So, and I'm not a big fan of CA glue because it leaves things brittle, and it's, you know, easy to break unless it's photo etch, or the Easy Line I use. So I'm just smoothing this down at the moment. Let me get this done, and I'll be back. All right, I was able to buff out that seam. That was right across there. Still going to need little surfacer, as you can see right there. But for the most part, it's gone. It's going to take a little bit of maybe some Mr. Putty. But I buffed it out, was able to get most of it out. So now what I'm going to do is, before I join this piece here, I'll put this top piece in, this bottom here. Do this right there. That way, from my perspective, and at least that way I can join them both like this, and I got some glue up here and some glue down there. And when I go to join them, I don't have it both on one side. So those pin marks I was talking, those ejection pin marks that I was talking about, that I didn't need to get rid of, right here and right here, they have to come out. I didn't realize that once you sit that in there, I mean, you can't really see them unless you look, but they're right up underneath those guns, so you'll be able to see them when you take a good look at it. So let me work on those and I'll be right back. Alright, as you can see, I'm gluing the wing struts in. Whoop, right there. I've got both of those drying for right now, but I've also got that drying down. Now, that was an incredible pain in the rear end because this was also warped. So once I get this done, then we'll go ahead and see if that little warpness that's right in here. If not, I'll dry fit it. If it doesn't come down, I'm going to have to hit this with a heat gun. So I'll be back in a minute when this dries, show you what it looks like. Alright guys, what do you think? I just got it taped shut just to make sure everything's fitting right. It's still not all the way down, but this is what she's going to look like when she's ready, like so. And then when she's in flight, she'll look like this. I still have to put the greeblies in here. I'm not going to glue this down just yet because I got to get those magnets in here so I can get the landing gear in. But it gives me an idea. She's getting close. It's almost there. So now all it needs, this is going to be a pain in the rear end though, because it's already looking like I'm going to have to shave down these greeblies I put in here on the guns a little bit. No, just a hair, so it'll slide. It's just catching a little bit right there. But if I shave that down just a hair, she should be fine. But there it is. So I should have her done by the weekend, at least most of it, and then she'll be ready for paint. Until then, this is Red Dragon Model Works saying, hey, y'all take it easy, brothers. Ciao.